when to sell your Bitcoin and your cryptocurrency assets. I'll be showing you today some tools that might help us, plus the cycle on how we could navigate this market. On top of that, we'll try to discuss also the short-term movement of Bitcoin along with the altcoins. We need to understand this one because most of the time I heard people asking, what is the coin that I could hold on for long term? Or sometimes they can ask us, is it good time, or how can I buy Bitcoin or Ethereum that I'm going to hold for long term? But when you ask them what is long term for them, they cannot actually define it. So with that, it's better for us to understand what is really the market cycle. So we actually have 5 series in each halving. There's a big possibility that it might not work exactly as what we expect, but history tends to happen again. And with that, we could use it as our guidelines on how to navigate the market. So obviously here it shows that we are now on the stage of bull and followed by the bear market once we end this cycle. And then you will have a deep correction for the accumulation. Eventually you will have the expansion until you reach again that part of you could reaccumulate again, a second chance for you to run up before you will have another bull market. And obviously we are now on the bull market, so let's try to maximize this. Given with that, we also have indicators here by Glassnode that showing the holders, when do they sell. And for the past 2017, 2018 cycle, we could see here that after we reached the peak of 2017, we had that huge correction, and that actually signals from the long or for the holders to sell their asset before it run down again to the accumulation period. So if you're going to check the current count, we are far from this holder selling their holdings as asset. So it looks like 2021 still have far way to go. One more thing that will empower this indicator is if you're going to see what's happening on the exchanges, during the 2017-2018 run, people are actually adding their Bitcoins and assets on exchange, indicating that they would like to sell or do some trading. But as we started at 2020 and 2021, you could see here the number of people withdrawing and transferring their assets. Clearly, we could see here that people who love to hold what they have right now, and there's no plan of selling in comparison to 2017, where the value of assets on exchanges keeps on rising. Of course, this one indicates that they're going to sell or they're going to trade. But during this cycle, as you can see, it's very clear that more holders are withdrawing and keeping it their bags on their own. So the value of Bitcoins on exchange is going down while the price of Bitcoin is still moving upward. So a quick review on what's going on for the past weeks. There are tons of news that happened. First is the Elon Musk, Tesla, the $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin buying and adding it to treasury. On top of that is Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy successfully did his conference. Here, I already mentioned that they were able to share their Bitcoin's corporate playbook, including the legal considerations and all other steps that institutions might be used. Take note that those who attended this conference are the CEOs, directors, and big people when it comes to corporations and institutions. And it's roughly around 6,000 or maybe more than 6,000 plus attendees. So expect large volatility in the market this coming weeks and months on Bitcoin. Definitely bulls are now, and especially that people being exposed and aware on this type of market. Thinking of this, we all know there are some countries where did already some lockdown. So if you are just inside your rooms, imagine how are you going to be more productive in this type of world. Talking about that one, we are now playing on almost $1.4 trillion. The rest of the market are almost all in green. If not, comparing it to the dollars, last 7 days, Bitcoin is up by almost 37%. Today, it's almost 5%. Ethereum is up 27% and almost 3% for just today. Cardano 12.24% and almost 67% for the last 7 days. Everything here is, I guess everyone is happy on whatever they're holding, especially the Elron people of more than 200% for the past 7 days. If you're going to compare these assets to Bitcoin, let's see who stands out. Obviously, Cardano here at 22% for the last 7 days, and just for today, reaching now more than 7.28%. So as you can see, these are the altcoins that are strong on the market. Even Stellars for today is almost 7.5% up. For the rest of the crypto, definitely we are showing strength in the market. We're talking about this one in comparison to Bitcoin. So whether you are holding your alts or your Bitcoin, depending on this run, as I mentioned before, the psychology and how does Bitcoin works, you in a downtrend, on sideways, or in an uptrend, we would like to know what will be the initial or what will be the characteristic of the rest of the altcoins. If you're going to check my previous blogs on estimate, I mentioned here that if we are running on the sideways, most of the time altcoins are pumping and running. Also, I mentioned there that if Bitcoin is on its run upwards, these altcoins are obviously have their loss, and eventually, once Bitcoin's stable, it will run up again. But basically, if Bitcoin will go down, obviously this altcoin sentiments will go more than volatile and more downwards in comparison to Bitcoin. That's why we really need to know what is the characteristic of the market and how we could actually navigate this. And this is the importance of this channel. I'm constantly giving you updates on how we could really check and maximize the strategies that we have. So pulling it up, if you would like to visit this Stimit blog, it's here down below. Just check the video details, click on it, and you might actually see what are the graphs that we are doing, including the trades for the past months. And if you basically want to learn about simple trading or want to dig in and know about our E-waves or LU wave, you could also check our counting graph for the past more than 3 years already. So as we talk about, let me check if we could pull out that thing that I mentioned. Yeah, this scenario here, I posted this already 25 days ago. But basically we mentioned here that in scenario A, what Bitcoin is on uptrend, alts may be a lag a bit, but eventually it will do its run up. On the sideways action of Bitcoin, pumps are pumping, while if the BTC goes down, definitely the dump will be hard in a bull market. That is the characteristic of the rest of the assets. Now, checking the DXY or the dollar index currency, we could actually see here that what we drew last time, obviously we hit a resistance at around 91-92%. And as we expect, this is such a strong resistance that currently pulling the value of dollar index going down again. Well, we might see a possible support on the 90 range and might try to test again this resistance. But basically, dollar is on its way do additional downward action. And as we mentioned, if this will continue to go down, there's no doubt that assets like gold, silver, and Bitcoin will really rise up. But you can see for the past years, seems like this 89, 90 index points are really holding strong. Let's see how this will affect the market. And speaking of that, let's go now and check Bitcoin. This is what is our current count on the chart. It shows here that we are testing the 48,000 resistance. And let's see how will be the strength of the bulls on the market. But if you're going to check the volume here, there are certain buyers on this level. Actually, I tried to bought around 45,000 since I thought, or I see here that there's a possible support, since we already test this one and now it's acting as support. So currently up on our trade for certain amount, around 6%, 6.5%. But how can we play this market? As I mentioned a while ago, that if Bitcoin will continue to run its sideways action, it's better for us to check also the rest of the altcoin. Checking the Ethereum chart, we can see here that it tried to test again the all-time high at 1,800 after breaking by 2018 to all-time high at 1,400. See here the strength of the market, and the good thing with this one is it even tests the previous resistance after breaking it, made some fake outs here, but testing obviously this previous support resistance. Now we are doing another pump. Let's see if this will break this previous resistance and will bring us higher on the market. But right now our target is 2,000, 2,200, and 2,400. This is based on our Fibonacci, and showing this to you guys for you to have a clear idea on how we analyze the market. So one way you could do is from this top swing down. Here you could see this possible target around 2,200, 2,300. And currently we just tested the 1.26 fib extension. Let's see how strong is Ethereum, but it's showing on the way it's running, it looks like 2,000 is inevitable. Let's just hold the seat and enjoy the ride. Now checking the other market that we are holding, Graph here shows another strength as well. After it broke, it made some tests and it doubled from there. So it's almost doubled. It even break my target at 1.5. Now we are testing the 1.5 dollars, and obviously we can see here another pump after testing this previous resistance here. So let's see. This might hold. It might try to test this one. If not break, this should hold, signifying the strength of the bulls, and might be possible for another run. And the next target is obviously is the $2. On Ocean, these are the coins that I'm trying to trade. Besides from the fundamentals, this is also coins for holdings. Here it obviously break already the $1, but looks like we're having some resistance and it's testing it. I sold around 0.98, but this one has been running now for quite some time and still trying to test. So after reaching the 0.98 here, it backs down and now it broke it, reaching the $1 mark. Checking the indicators, we have a bearish divergence here, looking on the RSI. While the price is going higher, on our RSI, it seems like we have a lower bearish divergence here, as I said. This might have a correction. What we are expecting here to happen is we might get another possible support here. If it breaks, then we will go to the next support at 0.8785, and from there we might try to test again this possible resistance. Strength of the chart is showing us is we have a strong resistance on this area, and if this one will continue, we might get a shooting star indicating a bearish candle. But of course, this is a bull market, and seems like Bitcoin is continuously to pump up. And as I said, if Bitcoin will continue to pump up, the rest of the altcoins might have show a bit weakness and lagging. But eventually, once Bitcoin stables again, expect that these altcoins will follow Bitcoin. Finally, I would like to share this Qcoin exchange that I'm using. They're giving daily, we're talking about daily dividends. So since the time that I uses this exchange, they continuously giving me percentage of the total amount of my holdings in comparison to the amount that profit of the exchange. And as you can see, this has been a while since I started here, and until now, there's no miss. It continuously gives me certain amounts. So perhaps you guys, you might like to check this one. And beside from holding this, giving this dividend, the value of the coin itself is pumping. That's one of the reasons also that it's a good buy. But of course, always do your own research and validate these things. This is not financial advice. But as for me, this is what I'm using. You might try to consider it if you wish to have an additional profit or make a passive income. Here I discuss the benefits and the discounts every time you trade, and if you're holding some bags of this utility coin. This works like Binance at the same time. So you just feel free to check this. The description is down the video. And just if you would like to use the referral code, feel free. You could receive also certain bonuses and with promo if you will qualify. Here also I shows different related topics. You can check the cryptocurrency dividends such as BLOCKFI and Celsius. So there are tons of ways that you could utilize for you to gain profit on cryptocurrency. It's not just about trading. It's just a matter of discovering which will be your interest and your strength. And we'll be able to grow this community and help each other. Of course, our aim here is for us to gain profit and to have a passive income while the market is on our side. And then if this bull market will end, then that's the time for us to short the market, and that will be another scenario. With that, feel free to subscribe if you wish to be kept updated on the market. Again, this is Sandy and Healthy Minds. Thank you. Ciao.
This is Healthy Minds giving you bites and pieces of crypto news.